Greetings, my League of Eagles, and welcome to Leaders in Light, Love, and Legacy, your sacred space where presence meets purpose and where your inner truth is refined into visible leadership. And are we going to be talking about that a lot today? I am Joy Ruffin, and each week we gather here to elevate the way you show up in the world through authentic confidence, intentional style, and leadership that leaves a lasting legacy. You know, I love the word legacy, and I bet you do too. This is more than a conversation, it is an awakening, a refinement, a return to who you truly are at your core, heart and soul connected. So you can join me every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern because we will be streaming on Joy Ruffin's website, joyruffin.com, YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and it goes on and on and on. So what is our theme this month? Oh, we're going to have a good conversation today. It's all about you. It always is. Your light reimagined. Now take a breath, center yourself, and together we enter and speak to the month of, I can't believe it, we're in the month of June. It's all about your light reimagined. Now, I want you just to sit back and do whatever you do to get comfortable, because now I want to share with you a lot about, well, not a lot, just a little bit to stimulate your imagination about our featured guest speaker. Her name is Wanda Ferguson. Wanda is a transformational leader. You know, that's a buzzword for 2026. It was in 25, but even bigger now. She's a transformational leader. She's a speaker. And she's a creator of, and we're going to hear a little bit about this, just enough to stimulate your imagination. Closer to Me, a transformational framework, a song, a reflective and structured methodology designed to help women navigate fear, identity shifts, emotional exhaustion, and life transitions. I'm in a big one right now. Most of you know that. What once felt difficult to explain emotionally becomes expressive through music, reflection, and transformational structure. Now, I could go on and on and on telling you a lot about Wanda, but all I want you to do, I repeat myself, I do it intentionally, is just sit back and help me welcome our featured guest speaker, Wanda Ferguson. As they say on the telly, Wanda, come on up and welcome.
Hi, Joy. How are you?
Oh my goodness, I love that. How are you? I'm always good, even when I'm not. But listen, let me tell you, I'm excited that you're with us today because your
Yes,
work excites, ignites, and stimulates me in more ways than I can share. So
absolutely.
you're going to share a lot with us. But before we get going, I want you to tell us a little bit about what you left me with. And I love this, Wanda. You said you, meaning you, the women of the world out here, men and women, you are not behind the emotional reality women quietly carry. Before we give them a taste of the song that you've written, which is brilliant, tell us a little bit about what you meant about that.
Yeah, absolutely, Joy. But first, I want to say thank you for having me on. Much appreciated. You know, anytime I can come into your space, it's always an honor. So thank you for allowing me to share this time with you and your people. So to give you a little bit more about You Are Not Behind, is that this statement is a very emotional foundation of my brand. And basically, it speaks directly to women, Joy,
Mm-hmm.
who have been feeling disconnected from themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They've been feeling emotionally exhausted. They basically feel they've been delayed in their purpose or even understanding their purpose or even their identity and knowing really who they are. And, you know, we always seem to continue to push through and navigate, you know, through life transitions and things that comes about.
Mm-hmm.
And but we don't realize that we get to a point in our life and we get stuck. And when we get to that point, we start to question a lot of things about, you know, why am I here? What is my purpose? Who am I? And feeling like we're left behind, like we've missed the mark somehow. um, we have lost contact with who we are and where we're trying to go. So this was basically looking at a journey process and figuring out, one, and understanding you are not behind, because with that it comes with a certain amount of fear
Mm-hmm.
and a certain amount of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get like that, we begin to shut down, even if it's not physically, it's mentally. And then we find ourselves in a position and just questioning everything
Mm.
about, you know, where we're going, you know, and it's that level of unfulfillment,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not really being the woman that we know we can be, and just moving through life and through a cycle that's not yielding, you know, the results that we know that we should have accomplished at this particular time. So it's that not feeling, and letting them know you're not behind. You're right where really God needs you to be at this particular time,
Mm.
um, in your life, and it's helping them to be able to navigate back through that process.
Wanda, I love this and I love your explanation because I'm one of those women right here and now because I don't like to bring in personal stuff, but I also deal with my own integrity and honesty. And I'm going through a major transformational emotional thing in my life. And what you talked about, identity delayed and not your real DNA and how you're not behind, the honesty of that. And knowing the only thing that keeps me going is exactly how you ended. I know that there's something more and bigger for me in the lineup. So that keeps me up and not shutting down. But I know what that's like because it can get you down. And I have to say, your explanation of that was spot on because connected to self is what you have to be, but you have to be honest with yourself. Now, this song that you've written, the story why the Closer to Me transformational framework was created. This song, Wanda, you allowed me to critique it. I did it as honestly as I could. You came back to me with brilliance, and I love it. But I want you to play just a wee bit about it for the audience because they need to hear it. The title is Why the Closer to Me. The title is Why the Closer to Me, right? But I want you to play just a little bit, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about it as we keep going here. So give us just a little taste of what it's all about.
Absolutely, sure. Here we go.
Mhm. Mhm. I spent years feeling hidden, leading quiet, standing still, holding dreams just like a secret, afraid of what they reveal. But one step, one breath, one truth at a time, I finally heard the voice inside. I'm getting closer, closer to me, to the woman I was always meant to be. With every fear I face, I rise again.
Oh, my. My. I love the content, the words, the verbiage, one and the same, the beat of it, which we discussed a wee bit. But this song is absolutely brilliant because you are touching all of the things that you mentioned to us in the beginning. Uh, Quietly standing still, afraid of what it reveals. Got to get to that integrity and honesty within yourself. Who, how for you has music become part of the healing process? How did that ignite in your brain that you knew that this is something you needed to do?
Yeah, that's a great question, Joy. And you know, it came about was because as I started reflecting on me, and searching for my purpose, which I
Mm-hmm.
thought I had one. Looking at my identity and understanding who I am and knowing whose I am, I started just feeling like I'm more than what I thought I was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm powerful. I'm anointed. I have this self worth and this
Mm-hmm.
value. And when I started to just lay that out on paper,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was pulling together this sense of identity for myself,
Right.
and the words just came to me. They came alive, and I had wrote the information down, and knowing my personality type, and I actually went to chat gbt, and I said, you know what, I said, I need you to create me a song with these
Uh-huh.
lyrics. And that's the song chat gbt came back with me. It took my words, it took my feelings, it took everything that I had written out. And I said, I need you to write me a song. And it wrote me a song and put those lyrics into it. And it became more than what I can say, Joy. It was like
Mm-hmm.
the song spoke my feelings, my emotions, where I was at in my life. And it brought me to a place of really understanding, like, I'm so much more than what I can imagine.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
I've been told, that I'm not good enough, or that I could be overqualified for something, or I've been
Mm-hmm.
passed by for something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it starts you to start to question, like, well, am I good enough? And when the words were put together, I said, yeah, it's time for me to become the woman that I was meant to be,
Yes.
and to walk out in the grace and the purpose and my identity that God has given to me. So I know what that struggle of uncertainty is
It's all
about.
about.
I know what that struggle of fear, the fear of failure, the fear of failing, and all of it just came in. And when that song uh, dropped in my spirit, it was me speaking to an audience of women to say, you're not alone. You're
So this
not
is your
behind.
target audience. These are the women you're serving, women who are much like you. And this is one of the
Absolutely.
reasons I adore you, because you use the word searching for my purpose. And I say a lot of us are not, for all the reasons that you mentioned, because that integrity and honesty. But when I use the word an awakening for women, the divine femininity within all of us, which says that we are much more than we think or have been told that we are. So I love that. And you mentioned some of my favorite words, grace. But when you mentioned this song, you mentioned Chat GPT. I happen to love Chat GPT, limited knowing, because I know that's that. But you do, and you explained to us, Wanda, exactly what you did. You put down your feelings, your words, and then you wanted to put that into a song, and they help you. And I'm sure I say they, we don't know who, we know it's a robot, but we don't know really what it's all about. Not
It's
many of
all
us.
good.
Exactly. But when you gave them all of these words of things that you were feeling and what you wanted to put into the song, it helped you to finalize it. And then you edited that and you came up with the title, Closer to Me. Beautiful title. And then the other part of it that I like, it's all aligned, Wanda, and I love it. Rise again.
Again, yes,
Rise again. Because we all come out of
absolutely.
that womb not knowing in the discovery of self, and some of us don't, but most of us do, especially those who are awakened. So I say kudos to you. Good for you.
Yes, absolutely.
The audience
I
that you're
love it.
searching.
Yes, I love it, Joy. It crosses everything that you said, I said, and I
Yes,
mean, it's a connection. It's a
yes.
connection, girl. It's a connection. Yes.
And
It
we are
helps.
in an excellent time for that, Wanda, because this is a time for that connection, that awakening, that accepting and embracing the wholeness of us. And your song speaks to all of that. Closer to Me, rising again, because we have to be honest and get closer to ourselves and get away
We
from that
do.
other stuff. And the women that the targeted audience are women who are, what bracket
But
would you put them in? I know it's
yes.
broad base. Yeah.
Well, Joy, in honesty, it really is for all women's, but
Mm,
I have specifically, and even for men's, to be honest, because they walk with some of the
exactly.
same struggles that we do. But I have
Exactly.
specifically um, target audience of women between the maturing ages of 40 to 65.
Good for you. Yes.
Now, that particular targeted audience are women who are in ministry, they're ministry leaders,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, they
Mm-hmm.
are professionals, they are grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
and they are moms. So it's women who have reached a certain pinnacle in life,
Mm-hmm.
and we at this point where we're trying to figure out the next steps. So it's for all women, but that is the audience that
Yeah.
I'm speaking to today, because we are in our defining moments and figuring out where do
Ooh,
we go from here.
exactly.
And we
Mm-hmm.
need to have a clear pathway at this
Mm-hmm.
particular time.
I love that. And Wanda, I don't know about you, but I was always told that you got to stick with a certain generation, you got to stay in a certain lane. But I think today, because of the generational gaps that we have, the old and the new, the young and the old, each needs the
Hmm.
other. And
We
those,
do.
and I like your age from 40 to 65, because that's the time that we really began, or oughta, woulda, coulda, shoulda, I know about that, began to embrace our brilliance, our greatness, but with honor, humility, and a little bit of humor, because it's a
Hmm.
process. It's a
It
process. But I
is.
like when you say grandparents, because the old can teach the young, and the young can teach the old. It's a cooperative blend, and I like that. What do you think? How do you think that the power of gentle transformation, what do clients gain, and how do you approach that and bring that to them so that they begin to awaken to get to purpose?
Absolutely, Joy. So, this part of implementing the power of gentle transformation,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's all about moving away from a more pressure based type self development
Mm-hmm.
environment and
Mm-hmm.
moving more towards intentionality.
I love
So,
that.
as we move more towards intentionality and emotional safe and growth, we begin to just peel back the onions and the layers
Mm-hmm.
of things that traditionally that we thought will work, and it's moving to the point of where not only being intentional, but it's raising that conscious level of awareness. I
Mm-hmm.
always go back and say, when I was going through this transformation period, is that, Joy, I didn't know that I did not know many of the things that I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was due because of lack of exposure. We're moving through a process that has
Right.
been given to us,
Right.
more so because we've learned it from past generations.
Yes.
And when I discovered that, and it's all respect to the past generation, but they didn't know that they did not know many of the things that they just didn't know. And when I discovered that, and I moved away from that pressure of thinking that I had to do things like everybody else did, and increased my level of awareness and started
Mm-hmm.
investing in me to get me to where I want to be,
Mm-hmm.
I had to be intentional about that, and
Right.
almost somewhat a little selfish, because when you constantly giving and giving and giving, eventually you run out of energy.
Yes.
And in order for that transformation to happen, You don't have to be selfish, and you don't need to get selfish, but you do need to be more intentional about how you are using your time, because it can emotionally drain you. And it's finding a place of sacredness
Mm-hmm.
within
Mm-hmm.
where you can reflect. And that is something that, I found that I wasn't doing. And
Mm-hmm.
because I was not self reflecting, it just brought up a lot of uncertainties, a lot of fear, doubt, concern, just things that, I just really needed to put to rest for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got intentional, and when I started to increase my conscious level of awareness,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to start to see my purpose, my identity, who I already was. I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't know. And now I'm walking out that woman that I know I can be and I am at this particular point in my life. So that's the transformation
Mm-hmm.
that has to happen. And it has to be a gentle process so that we can move forward quietly.
I love that. And I love the way, Wanda, I don't brown nose and sugarcoat and all that kind of stuff, but I like the way you string your words together because you really give clarity. You really do. And what you started off explaining to us about that word, which is one of my favorites. Buzzwords come and go. Back a couple of years ago, it was authentic, and now it's intentionality. It's intentional. And what you mentioned about the selfishness, because I'm all about the divine femininity and masculine combined and equality, which some people think isn't possible. I don't agree. I think that the generations need each other, and we as women have all been known for our nurturing qualities, and sometimes we give too much of ourselves away. And now it's time to find that balance, the harmony, the unity between that, and how we can also be strong and show our identity in a way that speaks to our genius. That's what it's come to, and that's what you're doing.
Awesome.
And when your title of your song, Closer to Me, Rise Again, it's time for us to rise again. Women, men too, but I'm not working with men. I'm working predominantly with women, and we all do it differently. When you talk about, and you spoke to it, the power of gentle transformation, what that gentle is a word that I'm thinking sometimes, oftentimes, and correct me if I'm wrong, the transformation might not be gentle, but it can be what's needed. And if you're really about your purpose and your direction, it's where you have to go. So, how would you address that?
Well, Joy, we address it in a couple of ways. So one of the
Mm-hmm.
ways is that, that gentle transformation is built on three pillars.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
And those three pillars are the foundation
Mm-hmm.
in which to help women move through this process.
Right, right.
And it will cause an identity shift. It
Mm-hmm.
will cause a level of reinvention, or
Mm-hmm.
reinventing themselves,
Mm-hmm.
after the age of 40 in this particular range.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
is to identify and address those fears, because we all have fears, and
We do.
we all have different fears. And we all have that fear of failure or the fear of failing.
Yes.
And mine may not have been so much emotionally, but when I look at the spectrum of my life, and my finances, my career, my
Mm-hmm.
education, my relationships, my area of career was suffering.
Mm.
It was really suffering
Mm-hmm.
because everything else were intact and was moving and developing as I wanted to. But
Mm-hmm.
I was stuck in that career. My career was not yielding me the results that I had
Mm-hmm.
thought that I should have had at this particular
Mm-hmm.
time in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So as I moved through that transformational process, I had to learn how to quiet the noise
Yes.
and then name that fear And then I was able to proceed and move forth. Because if not, it would have rocked everything about me, and it would have caused a level of instability. So as
Mm-hmm.
I work with women and helping women to quiet that noise, because sometimes we have a lot of noise
Mm-hmm.
going on, and
Mm-hmm.
then start to name those fears, whether it's many
Yes.
fears or whatever. Then it was only then how we were able to help them move forth and to create the transformation that they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And that was to become the woman who they knew
Mm-hmm.
that they could be. And we do that through those three pillars of our framework.
Now, let me
Absolutely.
get the three pillows. I want to make sure that the audience is able to hear this, Wanda. And by the
Hmm.
way, where do they contact you and how do people get to you? I mean, this is
Absolutely.
radio, so just give us a little one of the two or three best ways that we can connect with you. I know
Yes.
how, but I want the
Yes.
audience to.
Absolutely. That's a great question, Joy. So the best way that you guys can reach out to me is one through our company email, which is Ferguson Consulting Group
Mm-hmm.
at gmail.com. So again, that's Ferguson Consulting Group, one word, at
Mm-hmm.
gmail.com. You also can reach out to us via my phone number, which is area code 973-932-6996. That number again is 973-932-6996.
Okay, good. That's what people are going to want to know because this will be going out and it'll become evergreen here, there, and about. So that's good. I want to ask you about the. You keep saying we. Now I understand the we. I was going to ask you about that. So it's a group, a company, or several people that you're working with, which is always good because none of us
Yes,
do really anything alone. We need each other, right?
absolutely.
But you mentioned something about the three pillows, and I want to make sure that I have them right. Did I note it right? Identity shift, which is what we speak to, reinventing ourselves and addressing our fears. Are those the three pillows, which most of them relate to finances, relationships, and what should I say, career?
No, the three pillars, you're not wrong in that aspect, but the three pillars are simplicity,
Okay.
awareness, and training. So
Ah,
the S stands for simplicity, Joy.
mm-hmm,
And what it is that I had the tendency myself to make things overcomplicate things. I'm a
mm-hmm.
very detail oriented person,
I
so
love it.
I always just overcomplicated things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And so I had to get that simplicity. And when I got that, I was able to start to not make things as complex as really it should have been or that it really was.
I love this.
So
Yes.
so simplicity is what the S stands for.
Mm-hmm,
The A is for awareness. So that awareness came in that once I learned to just stop overcomplicating things, Joy,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I was able to raise my conscious level of awareness. And the awareness came about because I realized that I just didn't know things that I did not know. And it was due to lack of exposure, environments in which I grew up
mm-hmm.
in. So when I realized that I didn't know certain things and where I was trying to go and accomplish in my life, I had to increase my level of awareness and
Mm-hmm.
recognize that. And in doing so, that led me to the T for training, because that's when
Mm-hmm.
I realized that I could not do it by myself and that
Mm-hmm.
I needed help.
Love this. Love
And
it.
when I realized that I needed help because I could not do it by myself, because I've tried many, I've tried did I try? I tried so many times
Uh,
to do it, myself. Because I was like, oh, I got this. I can do this. When you think you're
right.
highly educated and you have all these degrees with your name coming off on the side of business cards, you figure out I don't need help.
No, but you
Well,
know
I
what?
realized that I did need help. I
But
did.
that takes a real authentic soul that
Yeah.
is aware of many other options and possibilities that you've let slide through for all of your old programming, conditioning, and so on. So that
Exactly.
honesty that you're working with is authentic, it's real, it's genuine, it's true. But
Yes.
most of us, and myself included, it takes quite a while to get to that. And you're at it, and I love the SAT, the simplicity,
Yes.
awareness, and the training. That's brilliant. And you know
Yes.
what? Three that you also mentioned: finances, relationships, which
Hmm.
includes love and partnerships, and career. Those are the three I think major ones. Because under
Yeah.
relationships you can put a lot, finances
They
depending
all
on career. Yeah. So
they
I love
all
this.
falls under there. They all falls under there.
Yeah.
But that's the three pillars by which then all those avenues are
Mm-hmm.
explored. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't fix the core issues,
Mm-hmm.
then the other ones will still be surfing in the background and
Mm-hmm.
become a problem. So it's
Mm-hmm.
looking at every aspect of your life and breaking it down under those three pillars. And
And
in
being honest
places,
with yourself.
yeah, being
Being
honest with
honest with
yourself,
yourself.
Joy, and in places where you need to get help and seek help, that's where you need to go do that.
Yeah.
And that's where the training comes in, because you have to realize that you can't do it by yourself.
No, none of us
Um,
can. None of us can.
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. So when you take those three pillars and then you look at them in all areas of your life,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's finances, career, relationships, career, those three pillars are the foundation, because I sat where many women sit today.
Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm.
And that's where the simplicity, awareness, and the training comes from.
And you know what? This is where you and I are very much aligned. We're doing it in different ways, but it's the same outcome. And that's why I applaud and celebrate the work that you're doing. And you know what? The time flies here. You and I could go on and on and on. Another thing that I adore about you. But I was going to ask you for your food for thought, your takeaway, and whatever. But I think you've given us much of that. It's time to wrap the show up. I'd love it if you could play one more snapshot of your song, and that was going to be the ending. I'm going to blow you kisses. I'm going to end the show, but just play a little bit more of that song, or the same one that you played before, so we can end with that, because I want people to go out and get your song, and now that they know how to connect with you. So let us hear some more of that.
Absolutely. And Joy, before I do that,
Yes.
I forgot to mention is that
Okay.
the song is available for download
Good.
on Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio,
Oh, great.
Pandora, Deezer, wherever. Just you can just search the name up. Closer to Me, Rise Again
Mm-hmm.
by Wanda
Wonderful.
Ferguson, and I also have different versions that's going to be released in the future. Same
Wonderful.
thing, just for different genre of music, and it's available for download. So let me
I
give you a little
love
bit
it.
more taste for it.
Oh, Wanda, I
Absolutely,
love it that you ended with that, because I somehow that went by me, but that's okay. You brought it to the fore.
yes,
Now, if you can play a little bit, and I will mention this again, and if I can, but let's hear a little bit more of that music. And thank you for sharing this with us today. I will
absolutely. I
always
enjoyed
be
it.
in your circle. I'll always be in your camp, and I will not be thrown out, because we're on the same
Absolutely,
lane, going in different directions, but the end results will be the same. Thank you, thank you, thank
Joy.
you. Yes.
You are my friend.
You're a sweetheart. You are. The feeling is mutual, my love. It's mutual,
Yes,
and you know that. So let's hear a
yes.
little bit more of that, and we're going to wrap this up. I didn't want to go over, but I always do. I get carried away in the conversation.
That's
So let's
okay.
hear
You
a
know
little
what?
bit.
I do the same thing, and yes, absolutely. I got it, because you know what? It brings my heart joy when I speak and spend time with you and your audience. It just, I mean, you can't imagine. You just bring me so much joy.
Oh, bless your
But
sweetheart.
here we
Thank you,
go.
man.
Yes,
Okay, let's go.
absolutely.
Closer to
You
me.
got it.
Okay.
I spent years feeling hidden, bleeding quiet, standing still, holding dreams just like a secret, afraid of what they reveal. But one step inside, I'm getting closer, closer to me, to the woman I was always meant to be. With every fear I face, I rise again. Simplicity clears the noise within. Awareness helps me finally see. Training grows the strength in me. I'm becoming who I'm meant to be. I'm close,
Oh my goodness, my
closer to
goodness.
me.
Closer to me, closer to me, closer to you, to yourself. You know what, my audience? I'm always honored and delighted that you can share the time and space with us. Wanda, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be with you in just a second. I want you to know, my League of Eagles, that today's episode of Joy's Radio, Leaders in Light, Love, and Legacy. Remember this, and Wanda's definitely in that League of Eagles, as you are if you're tuning in here. Your presence is not something you perform. It's something you embody. And by golly, did Wanda speak to that today. When your outer expression aligns with your inner truth, you don't just enter a room, you shift the room. You shift the energy in that room. So if this conversation spoke to you, and I don't know how it could not, I invite you to continue this journey with me. Explore more episodes and step deeper into your own leadership presence. I want you to walk away with Wanda left us with so much, but I am a wordsmith in my fashion, as she is, and everything she gave us was pure platinum jewels. But she left us with the simplicity of SAT, simplicity, awareness, and training. Now, most of us know SAT when it comes to collegiate academic world. It's different. So she took it and put it in another genre, and I think that's brilliant. So you have an assignment, you know you always do, food for thought. You have an assignment to connect with her, and you'll have the information when this airs. Join me again next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Joy Ruffin's website, my YouTube channel, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, which you can also find Wanda's song, Closer to Me, Rise Again, and you can download it. And whatever you do, not forget to subscribe, to like, to comment, and to share each of these episodes with all of those that you hold an endearing moment, a spot in your heart. So until we meet the next time, I end with what Wanda shared with us in a different verbiage, but the same meaning. Stand in your truth, elevate your presence, and own the spotlight with grace. Wanda Ferguson is a transformational coach who's gentle in her message and how she applies it and shares it with you. And your assignment, you know we love homework here, is to connect with her. So until the next time, my Eagles, remember, with love, light, and legacy, we leave you always, from my heart to yours, much, much love. Be and stay well. See you soon, chat with you soon. All the best. Cheers.